Hey everybody, welcome to Did You Hear About This? I'm Bill.
I am Scott.
So what are we doing here today?
We are listening to a listener. Brother Chris, hailing from southern Florida, gave us the idea, I mentioned it to you last week, about us doing a Hot Ones type episode.
And there they are, displayed in front of me. 10 bottles of hell.
In lieu of nothing better to talk about or nothing better to do, I brought in some of my personal collection. I didn't go out and buy these. These are actually like from my fridge or from my pantry. So most of these purchases are inspired by things I've seen on the subreddit Hot Sauces. So there's some street cred to these.
Well, I'm bringing along some beer from Lancaster, PA, because I think we're going to need it.
Yes, this is going to be a good extinguisher for the whole thing. Not that beer is the best thing to use, but I'm not drinking milk tonight.
I was going to say, I get us some milk.
Nah. I think the best thing's probably like a Frosty from Wendy's.
Ooh, we should have thought about that. That's one of my favorites.
Now, most of these have good flavor. Only one of them's built for pain, and we'll save that one till the end. And I didn't buy that one. That one was a gift through Secret Santa from a few years ago, but it's so hot it just doesn't go bad.
I used to have a hot sauce collection. I don't know what happened to it, but I used to have an appetite for hot sauces, and there was one. It was from Blair's, and it had a skull head hanging at the end of it, and it literally said in the bottle, for a 5-gallon thing of tomato soup, put 1 drop in.
Yeah.
And I did it. I had a 5-gallon pot, and we had all this tomato soup. I was like, I got to see it. Dude, it was hot. It was way hot. It was true.
I have a memory of you at your old house, and you had a bottle in the refrigerator of Frostbite, the clear hot sauce.
Yeah, that was from Blair's too, I think.
I think the one you're talking about is death sauce with the skull on it, but the Frostbite was the clear stuff. And I think we got drunk one night, and you just like took a swig out of it, and you regretted that.
Oh, I don't remember. Yeah, it must have erased my memory because I don't remember that.
Well, we're just going to do some drops on chips here. We weren't going to do wings. Wings don't work for the radio. Plus, I can't stand to watch you eat hot wings, and I know Jenna just hearing this is having a picture in her mind of Bill eating hot wings, much like a cartoon character where, like, if the wing goes in and the bare bone comes out. It's like a Fred Flintstone trick or something. But we're going to do some potato chips with some hot sauce on throughout the show and get increasingly hotter, I think, as we go.
And we have a topic. You brought a topic.
Yeah, we live in a scary world, and I'm going to talk about some phobias. No phobia of hot sauces, although maybe we'll create one of those tonight.
I'm fucking afraid right now.
The thing about a phobia is that it's an irrational fear, and this might be like a legitimate fear you're having, so I don't know if it actually qualifies as a phobia so much as a fight or flight response. You want to kick one off? Do you want to start off with the first one?
All right, let's start with one. I see Old Bay hot sauce there. I didn't even know Old Bay, which I love Old Bay. I didn't know they had hot sauce. Maybe we start with that one?
All right, and as Bill said, this is the Old Bay hot sauce. Really good for like brunches, eggs, Bloody Marys, things like that. But we have a loaded up chip here. This is almost like a Tabasco or like a Frank's Red Hot with some Old Bay in it. So down the hatch, man. Here's to you.
Here we go. Oh. All right, it's tasty.
Yeah?
But it did make me wince. That's not a good sign.
This made you wince?
Yeah, I got that like, you know when you eat pickles and your face puckers up? I just puckered up.
Are you like salivating in the back?
A little bit.
It's going to be a long road for you, my friend.
Yeah, I think I've lost any ability for hot sauce.
I do not have Scoville ratings. This is made by the McCormick Company, the McCormick Spice Company. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, that's round one.
I think I'm reacting more to the Old Bay in it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that you can really taste like the celery seed that's in there.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I thought it was crab grounds.
No. It's made to complement crab, but it's mainly celery seed and paprika and some cayenne in there, but that's about it.
Old Bay fries are some of the greatest things on earth.
Crab fries down at the Phillies ballpark? Forget it.
I know, right. I love it.
Cheese sauce? Fantastic.
But now that I know there's a hot version, I could enjoy this. This wasn't hot at all. I was reacting to the Old Bay.
Yeah, and I buy most of these for the flavor. You know, it can't just like burn you out. Like I said, I don't like ones that are just made for pain, like number 10 here, but you know, I like them to have some flavor and enhance what I'm eating.
I don't get why people do that. Like when I made that I lied a little. I didn't make 5 gallons of tomato sauce or soup or whatever I made, but I made a lot. I dumped all of it away. But like, it just burned. It didn't taste good. It just hurt.
Well, if you eat hot things, it does release endorphins. You can get like a rush from it, like a high almost.
That's what it is. Yeah. I think people are addicted to that high.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't taste good, why would you do it? But these things sell like crazy.
I don't know.
Sometimes when I'm on vacation, I'll walk into a store and it'll just be like walls of hot sauce. I'm like, we're really deep into this now.
Yeah, some of those places are just gimmicks though, because like they make their own hot sauce and like they'll give it 5 like flames or however they want to rate it. I walk in there. So here's my thing: if I eat hot sauce and my bald spot pools up with sweat, that's how I know it's too fucking hot. That's my indicator.
I can't tell if you're kidding.
No, I'm very serious. That's my tell.
It gets soppy.
It gets a little swampy up top here. That's all. That's why I'm wearing a hat.
You might want to wear a diaper up there.
No, I don't ever have that problem.
Oh, man, that's funny.
So to keep the show going, anything new, any mailbag, anything you're watching this week? What do you got going on?
I'm still watching the Japanese Spider-Man.
No shit. How many episodes?
I think we've tackled it because I got Amy watching them now.
Oh, no.
She's like, I don't want to watch this, but sure, I'll watch it with you, honey. And now we're into it. We can't wait to see what happens next. I think we're on episode 8. And there's 41.
Plus a movie.
I can't wait for that's the grand finale. That's the cherry on top.
Nobody else really seemed to care about the Spider-Man, us watching the Spider. The experiment wasn't a success, I guess I should say.
Yeah, downloads were low. I
talked to some people. Brother Mumbo gave some good feedback. Brother Chris, who, again, producer for the hot sauce episode here. It was fun. They definitely want to check out Spider-Man 78, but hearing us talk about it, having not known about it, probably didn't go as far as what we'd hoped it would have.
Well, we talked about doing watch-alongs, and we're like, I don't know that it'll work. I don't know that they'll translate.
So what I think is if we talk about a movie that is so well known that people just know the movie because they've watched it so many times, I think that'll have a different hit than something that nobody heard of before.
Well, I still highly recommend you all watch this thing because it is crazy.
I didn't watch any more beyond the one you showed me.
You're missing out. You had to go watch that Daredevil. You should have been watching Japanese Spider-Man.
So that was the only mailbag I got, or the only feedback I got was fun, but maybe too long. And I get that.
Well, thank you for the feedback. That's how we learn.
That's how we don't know.
How about another chip?
All right, man. So we didn't just set up one chip. We set up the next 4.
How many are we going to do in a row?
Well, this first one here is called Hank's Hot Sauce. It's actually Hank's Camouflage Hot Sauce. It's camouflage because it doesn't hit you right up front. Hank's is made right in Sea Isle City, New Jersey, so a local place. I got this one because it's kind of herby, good flavor. Shouldn't be too much of an increase from the Old Bay, but here's to you.
Here's to you.
Still real vinegar.
Yeah, that was the first taste I witnessed.
Not lighting you up too bad.
No, that's not bad.
Number 3 right away?
Go for it. What is this one?
This one is Melinda's Thai Sweet Chili Sauce. So this is more like an Asian flair.
You just gave me a little drop, so that concerns me.
No, this one's not bad. Actually kind of sweet.
Yeah, more sweet than hot.
You want hot, you say?
Uh-oh.
Next up, we have Lola's. Lola's is Trinidad scorpion pepper. Previously the hottest one in the world.
All right, I've heard of scorpion pepper.
Lola's Fine Hot Sauce, all natural. I do not have Scoville's, but this one's going to light. This is where we go up the next level.
Okay.
Woo! Ooh. What do you think about that?
I like it. That's my favorite so far.
Hold on. Nah, no pooling yet. No pooling yet.
No head swamp yet?
No swamp head, but my glasses did steam a little bit there, so. Let's just go number 5.
All right.
Number 5 is Yellow Bird's Serrano Pepper. This one's green. Definitely more herby.
That one's my favorite now.
Yeah.
That one's great.
That was good.
That one's starting to burn. Now it's starting to happen.
It's a sleeper.
That one got me right on the tip of the tongue.
Yep, that's where it hit.
I didn't tell you, but I filled my mouth full of wax like Homer.
Oh, you drank the candle?
Yeah, is that how he did?
Yeah, because Ralph Wiggum gave it to him to beat his old man. I'm going to sit with that one a little bit. We'll wait off. We'll do the next chip in a little bit here. Anything else to talk about in the preamble, or do we just go right into the main topic?
Yeah, I don't got much going on. It's been a nothing kind of week.
Yeah, just been working like crazy. I actually just wrote this right at the end of my workday here, so we'll get right into it. So, again, scary world we live in. I wanted to talk a little bit about some phobias and some fears. And a lot of times what inspires my topics is things that I see other people talking about or I see on shows or things like that. And twice this week I heard people talking about like arachnophobia and just like generalized fear and anxieties and stuff like that and things that people are afraid of. So I didn't have to do too much research, but I put together a little topic here. And it's funny how a lot of these fears you can see where Hollywood writers and directors really got inspired by to make their movies. So as I read some of these phobias, it was just like, oh, that's so-and-so. So as I go through, I'll talk about phobias and what they're about and how they're categorized and things like that. We'll talk maybe a little bit about our own fears and phobias.
All right.
And then we'll get into like the common ones that a lot of people out there know about.
All right.
All right.
Is this in alphabetical order? Does this start with arachnophobia?
It's alphabetical to a point, but arachnophobia is not the first one.
Oh.
So, University of Pennsylvania, as I kind of talked about at the top of the show, fears and phobias are related, but they're not exactly the same thing. So, University of Pennsylvania defines a phobia as a irrational, persistent, and intense fear of a specific object, situation, or activity. And phobias are also generally involve an exaggerated sense of danger, where the fear far surpasses the actual threat that whatever the object or situation presents. Like you may see, like you mentioned arachnophobia, you may see a spider and it may be a harmless spider that doesn't even have teeth or bite, and you think you are going to fucking die and you have to get away from it right now. Like irrational, not based on anything other than your irrational fear of the whole thing.
I definitely have one or two of those.
Yeah?
I'm sure we'll get to it on the list.
Okay.
I think they're common ones.
All right. So common symptoms of phobias, you have your thing that you're afraid of. Your symptoms are shortness of breath, panic, rapid heart rate, shaking or trembling, and the urge to flee. So like fight or flight, like you're based on instinct. And a lot of these phobias may be based on stories we've heard, experiences we've had, or it might be like in our DNA that like our ancestors, like the color blue for food is like off-putting to a lot of people because blue things were poisonous a lot of times back in the day. So it's like it could be like that ingrained in our genetic DNA.
I didn't know that. A lot of things that were blue were dangerous.
Like a lot of berries and stuff like that, like a lot of blue foods and things that like hunter-gatherers would eat were not good for you.
Like the blue M&M. Remember that was out of the bag for a while?
Was out of the bag for a while, yeah.
I think for a different reason, not because of fear.
Yeah, different reason altogether.
What was that reason? It was a chemical in it that...
They were talking about carcinogens and stuff like that.
All right.
And now they're banning Red 4, I think it is, or Red 5, because it's made out of crushed up bugs.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, very much.
Like velvet cake, I've always heard is made out of crushed up bugs.
Yeah, because that red coloring is actually made out of, that's where they get the coloring from.
Oh.
Much like the green, the black squid ink that makes you shit green that we talked about in the previous episode from the Halloween Whopper buns.
Good times, good times.
Or, again, Brother Chris eating the black frosting.
Yeah.
Well, back to phobias. As many as 15% of people meet the diagnostic criteria for a phobia. So phobias are divided into 5 different categories. Category 1's animal type. Category 2 is natural environment. Category 3 is blood injection or injury type. Category 4 is situational type, and that could be things like fear of flying or public speaking or elevators or not natural environment stuff, but environments you may find yourself in or situations you may find yourself in. That's situational type. And then number 5 is kind of like a catch-all. It's just other types. They gave examples of loud noises, clowns, shit that doesn't fall into any other category.
Is that real? Are people really afraid of clowns?
They really are.
Wow.
There's a name for it and everything.
Wow.
Which brings us to the most common phobias. Do you know what acrophobia is?
Acro. They're afraid of acrobatics.
Kind of. That's actually the same root word, yeah. They're afraid of heights.
Heights. Okay. Yeah, that's a common one.
Yeah.
Amy's afraid of heights.
Yeah?
I took Amy on a date when we were first getting together, and I took her on a Ferris wheel. I think it was in Wildwood.
Oh, shit.
And she didn't want to be a party pooper. So we're going around and around in the Ferris wheel. Do you know when they have to stop to let people off and we're at the top? She's white as a ghost. I'm like, wait a minute. Do you have a fear of heights? Yes. Oh.
Why didn't she tell you this?
She wanted to be a good sport.
Wow. She really is a people pleaser, huh?
Sometimes. But yeah, she was terrified. She's gotten over it. I mean, we go on airplanes. She sits by the window. She can look out. But if she's unsafe, if she feels unsafe, like being at the top. I remember standing at the top of the Twin Towers before, all that bad shit went down.
Yeah.
And back then, you could really like look over it. If you wanted to just kind of throw your leg over the the railing there, you could go down. I think that's the kind of thing that she's terrified of when you're unsafe.
Yeah, we went to the top of Rockefeller Tower, and they actually have like glass you can stand on. We did the Sky Bridge in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, where you can actually, it's like the highest and longest suspension bridge, I think, in the world. And you can actually, the middle sections are thick glass that you can stand on and just look down.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know some people in my family were freaked out.
She couldn't do that.
Yeah.
I could do that, but she couldn't do that.
So, fear of heights. Any movies come to mind for fear of heights?
Cliffhanger.
That's a good one. I immediately thought of Hitchcock's Vertigo.
Yeah, that's good.
Because whenever he was up high, he would get like the vertigo sensation of dizziness and stuff. That was his reaction to I think it was Gregory Peck in that movie.
I thought that was Jimmy Stewart.
Jimmy Stewart, you're right. I'm sorry. You're right. He did that one in Rear Window. Jimmy Stewart did that. Whenever he was up high, he would just could not function.
How about Snakes on a Plane or one of those plane movies?
I have had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
That might go into another one here. That might be a part of the animal category one, or that might be aerophobia, which is fear of flying. In fact, that might be a combination of aerophobia and whatever fear of snakes is. I don't have that one written down here.
You don't?
No.
We're not going to talk about that one because that's my secret.
Oh, I do know that from when they're out here in your yard.
Oh, I'm terrified. And when you're talking about how it's, we're going out of order already.
No, that's okay.
But when you talk about it's irrational, I mean, it is completely, these are gardener snakes. These are harmless snakes. I don't even think they open their mouth to bite people. I just think they eat little bugs with their tongues. I swear to God, I don't know anything about them, but I'm terrified of all of them.
But to be fair, when you see a snake, unless you know a lot about snakes, you can't just identify that as being a garter snake.
I freeze like every snake is poisonous and will kill me.
That might be built into your genetic heritage DNA. Because our ancestors would have avoided snakes, too, for that exact reason.
Well, my dad, Indiana Jones, got...
Why'd it have to be snakes?
Maybe it came from me watching those movies as a kid.
Could be.
I lived in the suburbs and there were always woods next to every development. And, I would always see a snake, every summer just kind of crossing the path. Or I rode over one on a bicycle one time. We passed one in the Cub Scouts. I was in Kid Scouts. We passed one on Cub Scouts in the Poconos. It was a copperhead and it was all curled up. And they're like, everybody walk slow. How about don't walk that way at all? They just had us walk past it. And I remember looking to the left and seeing it right as I was passing it.
Damn.
There was one in my sewer, a big black snake in my sewer. My dad took a broom and brushed it off the ledge inside the sewer into the water of the sewer.
No thanks.
Yeah, I have experiences with them. Oh, here's the worst. You want the worst experience? I forgot all about this one. I'm hanging out with my buddy Eric, and he takes me to his friend's house. His friend has a snake, and I'm already afraid of him. He's like, "You want to hold the snake?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a tough kid. I'm 16."
How old? Oh, 16? Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to ask how old you were.
So I'm holding the snake. It's wriggling around, whatever the word is, in my hand. And I asked what kind of snake it is. He goes, "I don't know. I found it outside, but I think it's poisonous." And my hands froze, and I started to shake. And dude, I'm not kidding. I went like this out of just fear. I threw it. I just threw it, and it snapped in the air. So I've had bad experiences, but I was afraid of them before that.
So you may have ophidiophobia.
It's exactly what I got. Ophidiophobia.
Ophidiophobia.
What a word.
Ophidiophobia. Yeah, some of these words are a mouthful, I got to tell you. All right, well, that was one I didn't even want to talk about, but here we are. I like that.
Ugh, snakes.
I'm a slither little snake.
Claustrophobia is a very common one. The fear of closed spaces or tight spaces. That's very common. I think that kind of goes together with like the environmental, or no, I guess it's actually one of the other ones because that would be like elevators. Sometimes the fear of the elevator isn't the fear of the elevator itself. Although getting stuck on an elevator could be a scary thing, I think it has more to do with being stuck in a tight space and the possibility of that thing just malfunctioning.
Yeah.
You ever get stuck in an elevator?
No.
I did.
Really?
Yeah, I was probably 8. My dad had an office building downtown, and we were taking him lunch, and the elevator just stopped. I think I was on there for like a half hour.
That's very scary. When
Yeah.
you're a kid, like that's terrifying.
I was like, this is wild. There was other people on there with me, which I don't know if that for some people would make it better or worse, but I don't know. I don't have any like fear of elevators or anything.
There's a horror movie called The Descent where it's about a bunch of people that go deep into the earth, right?
Yeah, I thought it was like mining.
Maybe they were going in the mines. I can't remember. I think they were spelunkers. Is that the word?
Eat penguin shit, you ass spelunker.
Yes.
And there's all these monsters down there. But there was a lot of scenes where it's like people like squeezing their body through and just getting deeper and deeper into the core of the earth. And I'm just like, that, I can't do that. So I don't really have claustrophobia, but that I'm terrified of. That kind of.
Think of like James Franco in 128 Days when that boulder fell on him and he like cut his own arm off.
Yeah.
I don't like that, man. No, thank you.
I never saw that for that reason. I was like, yeah, this isn't going to be my type of thing. I don't know that was claustrophobia.
No, but he was going through tight spaces too, and that bothered me watching that.
Oh, okay.
But going back to aerophobia, I didn't think about snakes on a plane. That was a good one. I thought it just airplane because Stryker was so afraid of even being on a plane in the first place and that was based on his experience in the war.
Right. Stryker. Airplane. Good reference.
All right, next up here alphabetically, like you mentioned, arachnophobia, which of course is going on right in the 1990s. Jeff Daniels and John Goodman, Arachnophobia, movie of the same name.
Yeah.
Fear of spiders, of course.
I like that movie.
That was a great movie.
I don't know that Steven Spielberg directed that. I think he produced it.
He was definitely involved with it, yeah. Yeah. And that was the story of what spiders hitched a ride like on a coffin in California, and they came out and started breeding. And then, like, Jeff Daniels is like a new doctor in town. He's trying to figure out why these people are dying.
Yeah, that's right.
And John Goodman was like an exterminator.
Something like that, yeah.
It's been a long time since I saw that, but I remember like, oh, damn. That was a PG-13 movie. There was some scary shit in that.
I'd watch that again.
Yeah.
A lot of our audience is afraid of spiders.
Oh, I bet.
That's why they didn't listen to the last episode.
That's why I watched Spider-Man. Hey-oh. How about astrophobia?
I mean...
I'm sorry. How about astrophobia?
I was going to say astro. I'd say fear of dogs from the Jetsons. Fear of space.
Oh.
Astrophobia.
Astrophobia.
No.
Fear of storms.
Okay.
Like weather.
My dog has astrophobia.
I know some people that have astrophobia. I have a kid that I grew up with, and he, like, if it was going to rain, like right now they're calling for rain tonight, he'd just hang out in the basement. And, like, he wouldn't tell you that's what he was doing. But he's like, oh, let's go inside and play. Like, we don't want to be anywhere where we can see windows and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some pretty scary storms out there. So, yeah, I guess I get it.
I think the opposite of astrophobia would be like Twisters, where they were like out there like chasing storms.
Right.
I can't think of anything where like they were afraid of storms. I mean, at the beginning of Wizard of Oz, I guess, they were always afraid of the Twister.
Wow, you remember that? I don't even remember that.
Yeah. But I can't think of anything other than that so much. But if you can, write in. How about nyctophobia? NYCTO phobia.
I can't even think of what that could be the root for. Nyctophobia.
Fear of the dark.
Really?
Afraid of the dark. Yeah. I can't think of any specific movie, but that's such a tropey thing for any horror movie.
I think it's every horror movie.
Yeah, exactly. It's where the jump scares happen.
Yeah.
Any fear of the dark for yourself?
I'm thinking, no, not really. I mean, I don't want to be out in the middle of the ocean at night, like on a paddle boat, but I don't think that's a fear of darkness. I think that's just a fear of
sharks.
Sharks, yeah. Being lost in the woods, Blair Witch type of thing.
Okay.
Maybe that's a movie reference to it.
Oh, it absolutely is. That's xylophobia.
What's that? Fear of woods?
Xylophobia is fear of wooden objects or forests.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I always hung out in the woods.
Yeah. I'm never afraid of the woods, but like what's in the woods.
The snakes.
And I don't mean bears and snakes and bugs and stuff. Like weird people hang out in the woods. You just said so yourself. You were out there.
That's right. You would have found me. You're not wrong. When I was a kid, I told you I lived in the suburbs and there were all these little wooded areas. And
that's where you found the pornos.
I was just going to say, how do you know so much about me? Inevitably.
But that's every section of woods, Bill. That's not just your woods.
But I found them every time. Like a magnet. Lift a rock and there's a porno magazine. There's a Penthouse.
Oh, man.
And I remember having one that I'd like to go look at. And I was in junior high. And I would stash it under this rock. And every once in a while, I'd go for a walk by myself. And I go, I want to see if it's still there. And I remember going and looking. And all of a sudden, I turned around. And this guy and his dog were right there watching me, looking at me with shame.
Shame. Shame.
I just put the thing back under the rock and walked out with my head down because I was like, I don't know why the fuck you're staring at me. I don't want to get involved. I don't want to get kidnapped. I don't want to get lectured. And I walked outside. It was the weirdest. Well, there's been weirder things in my life. It was one of the weirder things that's ever happened to me as a kid.
God damn.
Yeah, but I didn't develop a fear of people in the woods or anything like that or the woods, but I do have that experience.
So now my question is, do you hang out in the woods because you like the woods or because you like pornography?
Yeah. You know what? To be honest with you, now that I think about it, I don't hang out in the woods.
I don't even like the woods.
After that experience, I think it did scare me away from the woods.
Bill hasn't seen a leaf since the internet came out.
I chopped down all the trees around the house. I live in a desert now.
You are xylophobic. All right. How about this one's kind of, I think you'll get this one. Ornithophobia?
Damn it. Taking me back to science class.
Ornithology?
Yeah. But I forget what ornithology.
Ornithophobia is the fear of birds.
Birds.
Which,
right.
Here we are at Hitchcock again. I think Hitchcock just took like all the biggest fears and was like, I got a movie about that.
Could be.
Yeah.
It really could be.
Absolutely.
But who's afraid of birds? What kind of birds?
Tippy Hedren. It's not that the birds themselves, it's they gang up. It's like me and squirrels. I don't know if there's a name for the fear of squirrels, but...
That's right. You got one.
I don't fear them. I just don't trust them.
Whenever we're out, we see a stuffed animal that's a squirrel. Amy will always say, let's get that for Scott.
Oh, my kids do the same thing. They're like, oh, found a friend for you. I can't tell you how many like Christmas ornament squirrels I have.
Oh, really?
Every birthday card has a squirrel on it. It's like, oh, you're not old as long as you can find your nuts. I got it every year for like the past 12 years.
Oh, man. That's funny.
All right. And I got one more here. Triskaidekaphobia. Fear of the number 13. And I saved that one for last because here we are surrounded by all this Friday the 13th memorabilia. And that's triskaidekaphobia.
Triskaidekaphobia.
That's just specifically the number 13. And like triskaidekaphobia and the idea that the number 13 is a bad omen or brings with it bad luck or what have you. That's where the idea that the Friday the 13th is a bad day. There's actually a more specific name for fear of Friday the 13th. And that is, this one's a real fucking mouthful. Paraskevidiatrichophobia. Oh, fuck it. It's like 20 letters. I'm never going to get it. But
that's the whole alphabet.
It's also sometimes called frigatristicophobia.
Some of these, they give you no clue as to what these fears are.
No, none at all. But any other fears that you may have or that you know about or you know people that have or anything we didn't talk about here yet?
Other than the ones that, I only know you and Amy. So other than the ones I've already talked about, that's about it. I'm trying to think if I have any others. I mean, snakes is bad. That one's just irrational.
Jenna hates crawly bugs, specifically spiders, but also thousand-leggers and stuff like that. Like, if that's in the house, I'm getting called to take care of that.
You got to go be the man.
Yeah, kids are the same way. There's a bug in my room. It's always a stink bug. It's always a stink bug.
Is there a fear of kids?
Probably.
Yeah.
I guess the only other thing I have, like, I have this fear that people are always talking about me. And I think that's more of a personality disorder than it is a social disorder. You know what I mean? Like, that's probably goes hand in hand with some narcissism, I guess, on some level. But the thing is, sometimes you're right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if there's a closed-door meeting, it's like, oh, the fuck did I do now? Like, you know what I mean? Like, always looking over my shoulder like, oh, You're talking about me. I know I did something wrong.
And the door opens, they're all looking at you. It's like, oh, I guess I'm top of mind. Yeah, I have anxiety. And, there's times I wake up and it's just irrational fear of something that I just must have thought about in my dreams or something. And it's just like, damn, what a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But to have something that would trigger it all the time, like nighttime or rain, I'd hate to live.
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Especially in this climate?
Yeah. Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah. They say treatment for these phobias, a lot of times it is like exposure therapy. Like being exposed to the fear, but in a positive way where it's like, look, nothing bad happens when you pet this dog or hold this cat, or there are snakes that you can hold that are not poisonous, and you might find some pleasure in that. It's like that desensitization of maybe more grounding the reality of what the experience is versus what your mind thinks up.
Well, every time I have to do public speaking, I mean, that's one of my biggest fears. And you just do it enough, you eventually get okay at it. You still want to leave every time you're about to step on stage. But yeah, exposure therapy, the more you do it, you really do get better at it. And you do overcome your fear.
Yeah.
But do I want to go hold snakes?
No.
No. So I'm okay just being afraid of them for the rest of my life.
But and that's one where it's like, you never have to go the rest of your days encountering snakes. You can avoid snakes whenever that situation would arise. But like weather, I mean, that's something I would want to work on. You'd be petrified and immobile and unable to basically function if you were afraid of rain.
Yeah.
So that's something that I would want to be exposed to and be like, look, a nice summer shower could be nice.
What about drowning? That's a scary one to me.
Oh, sure. That's just fear of death, I think. You think drowning specific, though?
Yeah, just drowning. I can't stand the thought of drowning and suffocating.
Well, aquaphobia is the fear of water.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of water at all, but the thought of drowning, if I ever get that thought in my head, I flush it right out.
Yeah, fear of water can involve a specific fear of drowning and can manifest in various ways, including anxiety when near water, panic attacks, or avoidance of water altogether.
Man,
You get stinky.
you get very stinky. Can't shower, I bet.
Oof. Well, those are some things. Any other movies you think of that deal with fear? I mean, Scarecrow was always a fun character in Batman, but they never really based the whole movie around that.
Now that you're bringing this up and made that joke about Alfred Hitchcock maybe using the textbook of phobias.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all horror movies are using that same textbook.
Yeah, I mean, they are the most common ones, you know?
Yeah.
You did mention the fear of clowns, which makes me think of Stephen King and It and
I was going
Pennywise.
to say Poltergeist.
Poltergeist, another great one. I think that clown was even scarier than Tim Curry.
You know what's a trope you see a lot? Like trees that come to life and try to get you. Is there a fear?
That could be xylophobia. That could be fear of forests.
Oh, right. Shit.
The technical name for the fear of clowns, and this is considered to be a uncommon phobia, chlorophobia. COULRO phobia. Chlorophobia. Fear of clowns.
Yeah, another one I would have never gotten. I would have thought that was the fear of chlorine.
Makes me think like a ballsy move of McDonald's to have like a clown as their sponsor.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I guess if it's an uncommon phobia, it's not going to turn that many people off. And the addictive nature of your French fries is going to bring them in anyway.
Right.
But Ronald was phased out for a reason.
Face your fears. Go get those French fries.
I'd be more afraid of Grimace. Well, that's all I got about fears and phobias. If there's anything out there you'd rather talk about, if you want to share your fears, write in, let us know, because I can delve into this insanity all day.
And we need content.
And we need content. Speaking of which, more chips?
More chips.
Let's do it. All right, next up for the chip challenge here, we have Melinda's Ghost Pepper.
Oh, and you just gave me a little drop of this one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I never had this one. Oh, it's hot. Good though.
Oh, yeah. Right away. This reminds me of the old hot sauce collection I used to have.
This is front of the tongue.
Gets you right away.
Yep.
The taste and everything.
Yep. Probably the hottest one we had so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is surprising. Well, I guess ghost peppers are hot.
And good. I do like the taste of this.
Yeah.
I used to put this on eggs.
Next.
All right. What's this next one?
This is a local guy. This is called Forbidden Fruit. It's made in Fogelsville, Pennsylvania.
That is close.
Very close. This is a apple garlic habanero.
Oh. The forbidden fruit. Oh, that's good.
Sweet.
Yeah. I'd put that on ice cream.
People do.
Really?
Yeah.
That was just a bad joke. People really do that? I can't imagine how that would taste. Somebody put Tabasco sauce in my beer once as a prank. I went upstairs and puked. I couldn't stand that.
There's pepper beers out there. I don't like them.
Yeah, I'll stay far away from those.
Next up, this is a big favorite of the subreddit of hot sauces. I'm getting a little...
Ooh, I'm doing okay.
We have Marie Sharp's Belizean Heat. And this is made also with habanero peppers.
All right. Gave me a little dab of this one, so I know it's strong. Wow. Okay, that one got me.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was a little bit less. No, there it is. There it is. It's a sleeper.
It's a 1-2 punch.
Whew. All right, take a drink.
And then what's his last one?
This is not the last one.
Right.
We have one more left. The next one here, also habanero. This is the El Yucateca Yellow Label Habanero Sauce.
All right.
This is going to be a hot one.
Not as bad for me as the last two.
No?
No.
So this one coats my tongue and I'm feeling like, oh, man.
This one's making my eye twitch.
Definitely more vinegar, but it's warm. It's warm.
I got a couple news stories if we want to try to
Let's do news, and we'll top off here with Elijah's Reserve Instant Regret.
Now that my mouth is starting to burn, we'll see how I do talking about these news stories. Well, I'm not going to read them. I'm just going to read them off my phone. Did you hear they're making a new RoboCop movie?
No, really?
Not a movie, an Amazon Prime show.
Will it be as bloody as the movie?
I don't know anything about it yet. Nobody knows anything about it yet. They asked Peter Weller, they said, would you do it? He said, I would do it if the script was right. If everything was right and the pay was right, I would do it. We talk sometimes, Bernie. We talk sometimes about these old 80s things coming back and how we hate that they're doing it. I remember saying to you before that I think RoboCop is one of the few that I want to see more of. I think
that was one that they can remake. Yeah, that was on your list.
And don't remake it like they did with the Michael Keaton version a couple, like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Just do the same old RoboCop. I want to see more of that. I love RoboCop.
I'm sweating.
Check your hair.
What? Oh yeah, we have some poolage.
But I don't know. So I guess they listened to me. They said, "All right, Bill says it's okay to make this one remake."
Why didn't they listen to you all the ones you said don't remake?
They never listened to me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm cautiously optimistic about it. I guess it's the best I can say. Like, I want it to be good. I will watch it. I'm afraid of what it could be. Like, I didn't like that Michael Keaton thing.
Me neither. But if they actually do get Peter Weller, I don't know what he looks like now. I know he's way older than me, and I don't look good. So it's like, are you going to get Peter Weller and put him in his suit and have him be old man RoboCop? Will that work? I don't think that'll work.
That doesn't fit the story because, like, RoboCop shouldn't have aged.
That's true. It's just the head.
He's already dead.
Yeah. Wonder how they would do that. Not that they are doing it, just that they could do that.
Right.
And that he's open to it. So he's already put it out there in the ether. He's like, hey, everybody, I'm interested if you're going to pay me right.
Get somebody else to play RoboCop and have him play like the hard-ass police sergeant.
Have him just be a head on a jar.
Like Futurama.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
And he's teaching the other RoboCop how to RoboCop. Make sure you call them all creeps.
But even then, the head in the jar would be aged.
Maybe they can just skin smooth with special effects.
Give him the old Peter Cushing.
Yeah. I got that story. I got Jonathan Majors says he wants to return or he would return as Kang the Conqueror in the MCU.
Who's looking for that on any level?
Of course he wants to return. He needs work. But can you imagine the franchise that took you, kicked you out, decided to change the entire direction? He's like, yeah, I'll go back. I don't think they're looking for him. And then I thought about this. Everybody who's saying right now, oh, yeah, I'd return to Marvel, like the woman who plays Wanda.
Olsen. Oh, yeah.
She just came out, too, and said, oh, yeah, I would love to do more Marvel. That's probably because they've asked you. Because they're working on these new Avengers
This is
movies.
like what happened when they asked Robert Downey Jr., what do we call him?
Yeah, Morton.
That's what happened when they asked Morton Downey Jr. Like, oh yeah, I do that.
Sure, I'd
and
go
next
back.
thing you know, he's fucking Dr. Doom.
Yeah. So I wonder if they'll bring back Jonathan Majors.
Now, I know when you mentioned that Kevin Spacey was acquitted on all charges, that was news to me because you heard about all the charges, but never that he was acquitted and everything went away. Jonathan Majors was charged, right? Or was he acquitted as well?
It says here Majors was dropped by Marvel after he was convicted of 2 misdemeanor counts of reckless assault and harassment. The actor was sentenced to probation.
So he was convicted.
Yeah.
Nobody's walking that back.
Well, he's in something now called
Who gives a shit?
Magazine Dreams. I don't know what this thing is.
Sounds like you in the woods.
That's right. Well, whatever this thing is that he's promoting, people seem to like it. He says, yes, of course I'd say yes. Disney, Marvel Studios, I love them, Majors told USA Today. Tom Hiddleston, loved working with that guy. Loved working with Paul Rudd. Loved working with Gugu Mafba Raw. She was if you know who that is, she was in the Loki series. I love the industry so much, and now I'm in a place where I can feel the love from them and actually express my love for them. Like, okay, you're a reformed man.
So the thing that he's in now that people are loving, are they loving because it's a good story and a good show, or are they loving it because of Jonathan Majors?
Yeah, I don't know.
He's an also-ran, I'd have to imagine.
He's what?
He's an also-ran. Like, oh yeah, and that guy's there too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
It's like, oh, it's a good show. Yeah, and that guy's there.
Well, I don't care. I didn't like Kang. I don't like his behavior. I'm good not ever seeing this guy again.
You know where I did like him? In the Loki series, the last one, where he was like the kind of like fumbling professor from like the 1820s.
Yeah, he wasn't bad.
He was pretty good in that. But then like the whole guy at the end of time, I was like, this is fucking dumb.
Just be that old-timey guy.
Yeah.
Bring him back.
Right. I almost had his name. I can't remember what the hell it was, but well. My brain's on fire.
Yeah, my tongue is feeling him. Did you hear about Gal Gadot and her Walk of Fame ceremony the other day?
No.
All right. Gal Gadot's Hollywood Walk of Fame star ceremony disrupted by protesters and technical difficulties. So the protesters, did you hear, you know what's going on with her and Rachel Ziegler?
Well, I know it's a whole pro-Israel, pro-Palestine fight.
Palestinians showed up, Palestinian supporters and Israeli supporters showed up while she's trying to do this to scream and basically ruin the event.
Well, like, I mean, the woman is Israeli. Like, she's not going to be pro-Israel.
Right. It's the last place I would have expected a protest. It's like, let's do it as the backdrop to this woman receiving an award.
And knowing what this Snow White movie is getting as far as backlash, like, event planners couldn't have planned for this or expected this.
Yeah, crazy. It's just
it does
crazy.
just happen on the street, though. You know, anybody can show up, I guess.
It just you're protesting her. I mean, by protesting her, you're protesting your feeling, or you're protesting the whole war. It's like, yeah, it's just weird to me. I don't know. That's weird to me. Did you hear that the movie, reviews for Snow White are supposedly really good? But if you go to like different things, like we like Movie Tavern and things where you can go and see the seating, nobody's buying the seats for Snow White.
Really?
So I read that and I'm like, bullshit. Let me look. And I looked at my local Movie Tavern and no seats are bought. It's crazy. Nobody wants to see this thing, but the reviews are actually coming out pretty positive.
So they have to be critical reviews, like critic reviews, not public reviews, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It could have been fucking Citizen Kane, but nobody's going to go see it.
Yeah.
It's just like how Solo was, the Star Wars movie.
Yeah. Well, everyone who is, that I'm reading who is down on this movie, they're like, oh, it's just a bunch of shills, Disney shills. Well, maybe it's a good movie. Maybe it's an actually good movie.
Right.
But nobody's going to go see it.
It'll be on Disney Plus in no time.
Would you watch it even on Disney Plus?
Sure.
Really, I don't care about any of that stuff.
I mean, it's not Spider-Man 78 where you have to watch it and can't just be on your phone and use it as background noise. Like, you have to read the subtitles for Spider-Man 78. You don't have that for Snow White.
Yeah. Well, I'm flying through these news stories because my mouth hurts and there's still one more bad.
You might want to slow down because this last one's going to be the worst of them all.
Oh.
And we're going to save this for the sign-off because you're going to be fucked after you eat this thing. We both are. I can't just point the finger at you.
Here's a weird story from the New York Post. Hollywood director arrested on charges of swindling Netflix out of $11 million for a show that never aired.
How does that work?
I'm going to read this one to you because this is unbelievable. A Hollywood writer-director was arrested Tuesday on charges that he swindled $11 million from Netflix for a sci-fi show that never aired, instead steering the cash towards cryptocurrency investments and a series of lavish purchases that included a fleet of Rolls-Royces and a Ferrari. Carl Eric Rinch, perhaps best known for directing the movie 47 Ronin. Do you know that movie?
I've heard of it.
I have too. He's been charged with wire fraud and money laundering over what federal prosecutors allege was a scheme to defraud the streaming giant. Prosecutors said Netflix had initially paid about $44 million to purchase an unfinished show called White Horse from Rinch, but eventually doled out another $11 million after he said he needed the additional cash to complete the show.
So $55 million in total.
Yeah, but I guess they got something. Let me keep reading. Rather than using the extra money to wrap up production, Rinch quietly transferred the money to a personal brokerage account where he made a series of failed investments that lost about half the $11 million in 2 months.
The sense of the guy that kidnapped Frank Sinatra Jr. Like he was just going to make investments and then pay it back when they came to him. This was like a business plan.
Right? That's exactly what I was thinking. It's got to be. The filmmaker then dumped the rest of the money into cryptocurrency, which proved to be a profitable move, with Rinch eventually transferring the earnings into a personal bank account, according to the indictment. From there, Rinch spent about $10 million on personal expenses and luxury items in a spending spree that, according to prosecutors, included about $1.8 million on credit card bills, $1 million on lawyers to sue Netflix for more money, $3.8 million on furniture and antiques, $2.4 million for 5 Rolls Royces and 1 Ferrari, and $652,000 on watches and clothes. Rinch was arrested in West Hollywood. He's 47 years old and had an initial court hearing on Tuesday. When asked if he'd read the indictment against him, he said, "Yeah, but not cover to cover." I like that. He just
glanced it. I skimmed it. I gave the treatment a look.
What is going on here? How can somebody be so brazen?
Entitlement.
I can't wrap my head around the fear that I'd have taking the money from Netflix and then suing them for more. What was that all about?
Is it just a thought that like Netflix is so big and just so laissez-faire with greenlighting shows and things that they just would have forgot about it?
I don't know. My best guess is he's like, it's like I got a loan, I'll invest it, make twice what they gave me, and I'll just pocket the rest. I think that's really what his plan was. And when his investments went south.
Yeah, but the story's talking about like the 11 million, like the second 11 million. Yeah. Like, did they get something of White Horse for their first 44 million?
It doesn't say. They didn't even say if they got the unfinished series.
It's almost like, you know, you're going after the 11 million. Is that just the good money spent after the bad?
Thieves always amaze me.
I know. I can't put myself in that mindset to even answer your question of like what makes somebody so brazen. I don't know. I don't got the balls to try that kind of shit.
Yeah, I don't either. I've never been that kind of person.
No.
But I'm in business. I'm a businessman. I hear about these stories of people that are just willing to risk all this money, and they're just so sure that they're going to be able to make something out of these gambles.
I don't know.
I am not a gambling person. But this was a hell of a gamble, and it totally blew up in his face. And what do you do? I mean, talk about anxiety. Like, what do you do?
I'm just thinking about phobia. Like, what's the phobia about, like, getting caught? Yeah. You know what I mean? That's just
I'd always
catching up. There's the other foot dropping, the other shoe dropping.
I'd be terrified looking over my shoulder all the time.
I couldn't enjoy anything.
Oh, man. So, there you go. I thought that was interesting. Somebody tried to rip off Netflix.
Wow. And they want to come after me for fucking sharing a password, huh?
I know, right? They got bigger fish to fry. I want to get to this last chip. I'm going to be honest with you. So the last story I got is a political story.
Ooh.
Kinda. Newly declassified JFK assassination files released by Trump administration. Did you read about this?
64,000 pages of previously classified information.
Yeah, and it's got to still be gone through.
Nobody's reading 64,000 pages. That takes time.
Well, I guess some historian will.
They will, but I'm saying not yet. We don't have any results yet.
Right. So far, what people have read through these just newly released documents is you're not getting a whole lot out of it. The big secrets we were hoping for, they haven't found yet.
Yeah.
And the best that I heard somebody say that they think you're going to get out of these declassified documents is information about how the CIA really worked.
Yeah.
Right. And that might have been what they've been protecting all this time. Like how the CIA, secretly operates. That's coming out in a lot of these documents, they believe. So maybe that's the only thing we're going to learn. But I think people are going to, hoping to learn like, oh, this is why he was assassinated. They're hoping that Oswald was in cahoots with the Soviets. Like they're hoping for some juicy detail that puts everything together. And I don't know that we're going to get that with this.
No, it's the same thing as the Epstein Island tapes and the list, the Epstein Island list. Like that was supposed to come out to like shocking revelation. And it was like a fizzle.
Yeah, I hate that. I still want to know who's on that list.
I know.
I thought by now we'd have the whole Diddy thing would be all over the news. I haven't heard about Diddy in forever. What happened to Diddy?
He made bad life choices.
Well, we know that. But
and speaking of bad life choices, you ready for this, Chip?
Good segue. Perfect segue.
All right, and here it is, the final chip. Again, Elijah's extreme regret. This is Scorpion, Carolina Reaper, hot sauce.
And this is a dot of a tasting that you've given
It's
me.
not a very big chip. It's not a very big dot, but this is going to fucking do us in, man. Ready?
Is this where we give our farewells?
See you on the other side.
Oh.
Wait for it. It's when you swallow it.
Yep, it's going right down my throat. It's on fire.
Oh, my God. Well, everybody.
I feel like Godzilla blowing flames right now. Wow. That's a strong one.
Thanks for listening. Tell a friend. And, stupid. This was stupid. Strangely satisfying. Not right now. Probably not in the bathroom later. Tell a friend. Let us know if we missed any phobias. Let us know if there's any hot sauces we gotta try. Nothing that's gonna kill us, please. This one's bad enough. And we'll talk to you next week, hopefully.
Hopefully.